Hello, welcome to Band of Blades, actual play. We are missing our commander tonight, but we're going to persevere. We're going to figure out what WWJD or WWCD? I don't know. Anywho, lovely folks, we're playing Band of Blades. It's going to be great. I am Sean. I use he, him pronouns. I'm furiously typing in the order that people know to pass off to, and I misspelled Strash's name doing that. But I guess none of you needed to know that. I'm really excited to play this game. We're going to go to the Maw. We're leaving Port Clisco, and we are one location away from Skydire Keep. It is very exciting. How about you, Jen?
I'm Jen Martin. I use she, her pronouns. I'm super stoked to play this game because we missed last week because that dumb game convention.
Dumb con.
Whatever. I don't know. But I saw Strash put up the missions, and I think I literally got anime heart eyes when I saw one of them. So I'm super extra excited now. What about you, Misha?
I'm Misha B. I use she, her pronouns. I have had a dearth of gaming all of my gaming groups have not met for a couple of weeks, and I'm having withdrawals. So I'm very happy that we are playing again. How about you, Strass?
Hey, I'm Strash, he, him. I'm one of the authors of the game and also the GM here. And I'm super excited because there are some unusual missions this time. And if Jen gets her way, we might see what a dungeon crawl via Blades might look like here. So hopefully folks will have a good time, and we'll see how we do. Jen, as usual, I pick on you at the start of every game where I ask you for a brief recap and or back at camp scenes, because I've checked my Roll20 notes and they say start with back at camp and time passes. So
See, you'd think that I would have prepared for this earlier today. I did not. This is a recurring thing for me. I have a good excuse this week though, so it's totally fine. So last time we took a mission from Janakis, who I'm unclear if he was the commander of the military in Calisco. Of the fort, okay.
He's the general of the Eldermani army,
that's right.
But
general.
Eldermark.
Yeah, because later on he was throwing around his general weight to Zainova, and it was very entertaining. But yeah, okay. So he mentioned that there was he had heard rumors or maybe seen some evidence of this Orite group who he swears came into the fort maybe with some corruption, and then maybe they didn't have it anymore. And that's weird, right? So why don't you just go check that out for him? No problem. And we, rather than going in guns blazing, Misha's, I think, were you playing the sniper?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Or other scout, I can't remember.
One of the two.
Decided that she would just seduce one of the guards on the perimeter. And then that sort of turned into maybe she might seduce two guards on the perimeter, but and then ended up in a bathroom emergency for a while.
The good kind of bathroom emergency.
Right. The kind where you
I'm gonna pretend to go to the bathroom,
right.
So that hide. And
then
go sneak off and help your friends destroy this machine that was letting the Orite folks literally transfer corruption between or from themselves to poor people whose families they were paying off, which was super gross, and we could not let that stand.
I think they were paying them off. We never actually asked if they really paid. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter, but it would be even worse if they weren't. We don't know.
They were at least telling people they were gonna pay.
Yes.
Still gross.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, and then the secondary mission was helping out Janakis's second in command. She is from Dar, and there's a thing where the people of Dar are cursed and they have to go back to the land of Dar. Otherwise, terrible things happen. They start bleeding and crying blood and whatever. And so we helped her. We went in, the secondary mission was we went into this catacomb thing and retrieved an artifact, which now I don't remember what the artifact was.
It's like a I think it's either a bracelet or a necklace, but it looks like it's an ancient empire trinket, protection trinket given by an emperor to an ex-lover, buried with him.
And
Yep.
the cool biz about it is that it sort of contains the corruption that she has, and so it's allowing her to carry on without returning to Dar
for at least
Right.
a little while longer.
for at least a little while longer.
Little while. So she has joined us. So now we have another officer. Yay.
Yeah.
So
Which means that we might be able to let
maybe
our erstwhile lovebirds go on a mission together.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Don't tease me like that, Misha. Don't tease me like that.
Maybe they can do more than snatch bits of
Stolen moments at back at camp scene.
They totally might not watch each other die on mission.
Right. Yeah, sending them on a mission together is not actually a favor to either one of them.
No, it's really not.
It's totally fine and great. Who gave Akara that fucking awesome image?
That would be me.
That is
So
rad. I'm gonna show
Well, I
this.
mean, if you're gonna pick an albino, pick an interesting looking albino. And the necklace. It was the necklace sold.
Necklace. Oh my gosh. Okay, everybody.
hello.
Everybody roll 20. You're about to get some of this action. Or everybody on chat rather. Check that out. I love it. I do believe she has red eyes, but whatever. We can Photoshop that in later on.
Yeah.
Look, if you search for
you get
pictures
close
of albino, you can only get
Yeah, no.
Right.
All good. All good. Yeah. Sorry, I was interrupting. I was getting excited about Misha's awesome image search powers.
Misha has demonstrably the best image search powers of anyone, so it's totally cool.
Someday I will teach you all how to do a Google image fight.
a Google image fight.
Yeah, we used to do it all the time. John's actually really good at it. John LL.
Like a gift war.
Yeah, it's actually a really fun game because it has to be like it's fast and then like it's I will teach you folks. That's gonna be our after game Google image fights. All right, cool. So that's that. Do you want to kick us off into a back camp scene there?
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Let me double check my.
Yeah,
my
go
notes
for it.
here. Sorry, I think I may have messed this up. We did already bookkeeping. Nope, back at campus next. Yep.
Well, I don't feel like I can do the after an undead attack, the Legion must break camp and relocate because we're inside the fort and that doesn't really fit.
I mean,
yeah, let's do it. Fight breaks out over one Legionnaire stealing from another.
Nice.
Oh my. The morale is digging deep.
I mean, morale is great.
The funny part is morale is great. So I actually, and maybe you guys can help me with this. I actually think that it's maybe something that's more like sentimental in value or like a personal value rather than like monetary or like food or booze or something.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think like everything is scarce. It could be clean socks, right? Like it doesn't have to be, and any creature comfort, right? Is probably.
It might not even be intentional.
But a fight breaks out just the same. Who do you want the thief and the thief deed?
Who's doing the stealing? Oh my god.
I mean, I'd say Graf, but he didn't make it.
I'm just looking at the list of soldiers.
Yeah.
Or rookies. I mean, also soldiers. A lot of rookies. A lot of names I don't recognize.
Right? It's the toil of war, right?
Yeah. The churn of war.
Just keep losing. Like a lot of the characters we're most familiar with are in the graveyard.
Yeah.
It could be a specialist too. Like it could be.
Yeah.
I think Cadet Lucretia Bolivio might
Does Via steal Zayanova's heart?
No, but
well, that happened like
freaks
episodes
out.
ago.
They wouldn't fight over that. I think they're both cool with that.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Lucretia might her orite sensibilities might just say like this I deserve this thing.
I think actually, I think Lucretia takes something from Flavia.
Yes.
Because I really want to see characters that we've seen before.
Yep.
So let me refresh my memory just so that I'm clear. Flavia's been training a lot with Zora, like all the bunkers, 6 a.m. stuff, plus the jogs and the random wake ups outside of camp kind of stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Flavia
and we've seen Flavia at least once get a glow in her hair. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, but I heard about it.
Okay.
Flavia ignited the pyre, like Flavia wove and like started the defenses. Flavia has a title called Herald of the Hammer. It's just hanging out there. She was the one to get the Hammer of Matiar. She is the Thunder Goddess.
Yep. Recipient of the Sword of Valor medal.
Yeah, the Sword of Valor. She got the medal. Oh,
she's Cow Baron.
Did
Cow Baron, yes.
The Cow Baron. Oh my God. What's the other name? Lucretia. What about Lucretia? What's her thing?
I mean, I don't think she's had nearly as much.
In her torch. There's just a note that says in her torch.
Real mad at Crimson Riding Tide.
Real mad at Crimson Rising Tide.
Yeah, she's the leader of the Owls, and she was real mad at Crimson for getting
Oh, you know what it was? Okay, cool.
For getting Indigo killed.
Yeah.
So I think Flavia used to be Crimson Rising was in a squad with Flavia, if memory serves, right?
Yes, yeah. Flavia is a Raven, and that's Crimson was with her, and Indigo was a Ghost Owl.
So I think Lucretia stole something from Flavia that used to be Crimson Rising Tides.
Okay.
I think it was what was it? Crimson Rising Tide was a Penyar. What kind of stuff would he have had?
Any number of things.
Yeah.
I think Crimson was really big on like, did you see that? I snuck up to the horror, and like Crimson was he was just a kid. I think he would have totally collected like random things.
Oh my God, he had a scrapbook of like bits of fabric.
Bring back blighted things and keep in a scrapbook.
Yeah.
Terrible plan.
Yeah, exactly. You could totally
do it, but terrible plan.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he was not a very good scrapbooker, but I imagine there were things like there was a really rare flower and he picked one and pressed it, and there was like we went into this dungeon and he like got like an old like an old faded piece of parchment that he found, like a scrap of parchment that had some horrible scroll on it, but it was it's just a tiny little burnt part, right? Not enough to do any harm. These are the sort of things that Crimson would have collected.
True.
Kristen strikes me as the sort of person who has an Instagram account and just like post selfies every like 15 minutes, just like next to a wall of runes. It's like #blessed.
Yeah.
Says he got his name by swimming up a stream for a week to catch a fish and return it to Pena.
Exactly.
Still alive. Okay.
Right.
Yes, he totally is the guy at the Instagram account with the picture of like him standing somewhere he's not supposed to be standing.
Right. Remember the giant serpent that they went after and they killed with the giant scorpion? There's totally like him in the corpse.
There's totally
killed that.
He tried to take one of the teeth home, but the other soldiers were like, no, it's too much.
He's wrestling it. It won't fit in the scrapbook.
Totally. I love this.
And like their banner lights aflame because of Zora's fire, and I don't remember if Crimson had anything that was ignited by Zora's.
Yeah, at one point when the Ravens did a very difficult mission and returned, Zora ignited the raven symbol on all of their shoulders.
Yes. Yeah. So I think
I don't know that perma burned, but he certainly would have been like, special raven symbol. I told the quartermaster I lost mine so I can keep this one forever.
yeah.
Accurate. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, so I think it might have been the cloak, right? With like the symbol in it. Or armor or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Personal effect.
And Lucretia would have had, I think, a lot of opportunities to do it because Flavia's like going out and fighting Zora and training, and Lucretia or Flavia's super busy. Do anybody want to play Lucretia or Flavia? I don't have strong feelings.
Do you say you don't have, or you do have?
I don't have strong feelings. I don't really want to play Lucretia, but I am comfortable playing Flavia. But I don't know if either you or Misha want to play Lucretia.
Flip a coin.
I am happy to go.
All right, go for it, Sean.
All right. I'll be Lucretia. Anyone else you want?
I will play the peanut gallery
in the scene. Yeah.
Well, okay, so if we start fighting, I think it's super legit that the marshal decides to step in.
Yeah. So how does Flavia catch Lucretia? Is it like in the act, or is it like she notices that it's missing and comes after her, or what's it?
That's a good question.
Because I can see Flavia like coming back to her tent and realizing something's wrong.
Yeah.
And, like coming to Lucretia, or. Yeah, maybe asking around and finding out, oh yeah, who was in my tent? It was
yeah, I like that. That's good. So Flavia is gonna come to Lucretia's tent at like super ridiculous o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, nice. Can it be instead of her tent just outside of camp? Actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
What is
Lucretia doing outside of camp?
That's what I was about to ask you, Strash. We're in Fort Callisto, so outside of camp is like outside the prison,
city.
Right? Because we took over a prison. What are the are there existing funeral traditions, burial traditions?
We have to make them up.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then that's going to be happening right now. Sweet. So I think outside of camp there's a cemetery. It is like real busy. I think it mostly has names because people are burnt because they don't want them to be turned into undead. But nevertheless, it's like an active place, and that's where I think where Lucretia would be.
Yeah. So I think Flavia has taken some time looking for this cloak and has become increasingly agitated when she can't find it, right?
Yeah.
And we're already seeing her like 2 or 3 levels deep into this frustration, and I just have to channel when I'm looking for a thing in my house and I can't find it. Which happens all the time.
That rage.
Yes.
The rage of not being able to find it.
Seriously. Yes. And then imagining talking to other soldiers and then being like, oh, well, I got Lucretia was in your tent. I thought I saw Lucretia. So I storm up to the cemetery. What do I find? What does that look like?
So I think that there are graves here that are really old that predate the Cinder King. Where people in Callisto Aldemani did bury people, and they're and now what there is there's just a giant wall, and it's where people write in names of people who've fallen because there's no more burials for them. And I think there's like a line, and Lucretia is like 2 away from being her turn, and she's like waiting in line to like go up to this wall. And I don't know if folks have been to the Vietnam War Memorial. That's what I'm envisioning.
Yeah,
it's a very, very powerful experience to see just thousands and thousands of names. And I think the way people like write into the wall, it's like trying to think of like a good like kind of rock that would be good for this, like basalt or something like that. I don't know, like a wall where people like scratch in the name. So it takes a really long time to do it because you're like gouging the name in the thing, right? Like
Yeah.
it could take a good
Well, I mean,
10, 15 minutes to do one name, right?
Yeah. If the rock is not super duper hard, so long as you had a harder rock to carve with,
Yeah.
like
That's what I'm thinking, is that it's like not a super hard rock and people have something, some granite or or something like that.
Or a chisel.
Or I mean that would be practical, Josh, but I don't. Yes, yeah. Somebody's there with a hammer chiseling this beautiful name, just perfect. Other people are just scraping it in, right?
Well, yeah, and some people probably just put in like initials, right? They don't take time to do the whole name.
Yeah. Suffice to say that this is an all right tradition.
Yeah.
Just saying. Like that's a thing. Yeah. So I think you find her. She's kind of looking over her shoulder. She seems a little surreptitious.
You think?
Yeah. Like, well, she's not afraid you're going to find her. She's afraid like Marshall's going to say, like, she's afraid she's going to miss the Legion moving or that Marshall's going to find her outside of camp. She's not thinking that Flavia's coming at all. But she keeps like looking over her shoulder and she just looks sort of furtive. But I think you can, and like people are trying to make conversation with her and she's not talking to them.
Does she have that like cloak with her?
I think you can see that she's got like a satchel or a messenger bag, and you can see like the cloak is like a bit of the cloak like hanging out. Like it's enough that she's not like holding it out, but like there's it's enough of it. Yeah, you know, she definitely has it on her. Yeah.
And I think Flavia, I was getting more mad and more mad and more mad. But then I walk up and I see this, and I'm from Orr. I know this tradition. I know what she's doing. But also, you stole from me.
Yeah. 100.
So I think, I walk up to you with a little bit of restraint. And I think I actually make to grab for the cloak.
Oh, nice. I think Lucretia we don't have anything about Lucretia other than that she's real mad at Crimson. Okay.
Well, she was like the unofficial leader, and she lost like everybody out of her whole squad.
She wasn't the leader of the Ghost Alice. She's just the only one of them that survived, right?
True.
She became the leader because everyone else in her company died. Cool. So I think she is like startled when she sees you and doesn't even quite piece it together that why you'd be here. Like, I don't think she even like figures out, like, I don't think she knew she was stealing from Flavia. She just went into the squad and like dug around and found it and left. So she doesn't immediately connect, oh, I stole from you. But as soon as you reach the cloak, she like pulls it back. Like, what are you doing? And like tries to shove it in the bag more. It's obvious, right?
Yeah. That is not yours. He gave that to me. He was my squad mate. What do you think you're doing?
Replanning. So I really like Lucretia to be honest about her feelings, but I feel like she's going to be defensive first. So
I think it's super fair to be defensive, like because Flavia's not. She's kind of coming at you a little bit.
Maybe we can get to honesty, but right now she's not there yet. So she's like, you ask, and like she thinks for a second, and then says, "What do you mean? What am I doing with it? What took you so long? If he was your squad mate, why aren't you here?"
Because he was Panyar. This is not his tradition. This is our tradition.
Yeah, it's how we remember people. And I think it's probably worth saying, like, it's usually how you remember family members or friends or like people you care about, right? Which is not the case between these two.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Flavia like takes a long breath in and kind of like grinds her teeth a little bit. Clearly not appreciating someone telling her how to mourn her friend.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just gonna reach for that cloak again.
Nice.
I don't have anything
I
else
think
to say about
I think
this.
we fight. Like this
Yeah.
is a fight breaks out, right? Like
I think so.
we scuffle over it. Like Lucretia isn't willing to give it back.
Yep.
So yeah, I think should we make like a fortune roll to see? Like I don't think I'm gonna like I don't think Lucretia's like was gonna
Oh
pull
yeah,
it.
no, Flavia's not. She's not like fighting to actually hurt. She's fighting.
No, but I'm wondering who gets it.
Yeah,
Right?
it's true.
Like I think that matters.
Let me ask this. You say you're not fighting to actually hurt, but how much of your training kicks in? I mean, Flavia is no longer just a person; she's a weapon master.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair to say that Flavia can just take it from Lucretia. You are a weapon master. You are a very experienced soldier. I don't like, I'm happy to put it to a roll, but I'm also happy to just say like,
well, we can put it to a roll and do +1d for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That sounds good.
That's actually why fortune rolls, they ask questions like, what are some dominant factors? And we can be like, well, I don't know, you're a weapon master. Like, how tightly do you have that under control? Or is it when Lucretia takes like a swing, Flavia just reacts the same way because Zora's trained you to like move in the blink of an eye because she's just like, surprise attack. You're like, it's 4 a.m., lady.
Yeah. I think we should roll like our skirmish. Does that sound right? Or we could roll our threat. That might be more appropriate.
That should be equivalent. Nah, I think
Flavia's soldier. She's threat 2. Lucretia's
threat is usually tied to equipment. I think that we probably roll skirmish, give +1d to Flavia for weapon master, and call it a day.
All right.
So we are rolling skirmish.
Yeah. Let me pull up Lucretia's actual. Oh, she has skirmish.
I got a 5.
I got a 5 as well.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, it means that you both make headway, or perhaps you both take some consequences. But it sounds to me like Lucretia is, like Flavia is trying very hard to control her fighting stance. Like, is probably closer to what you said earlier, which is you don't. You're trying not to hurt her, and Lucretia is actually fighting for realsies.
Yeah, I think the cloak comes out, and we end up like Misha had this idea of it tears. I think like we end up like pulling on it, right? Like it's like no, mine, and we're punching each other, and we're rolling around, like. But I think at the end, like you get it out, and we're physically trying to take it from the other person. And I'm wondering if this is when the marshal shows up.
Yeah,
if you want, Misha, I don't want to.
Right?
I don't want to put you on the spot, but like.
Yeah. So she shows. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She shows up. She sees the two of you tussling over. She can't even tell what at this point.
Yeah. It's
all
probably,
she knows is 2 of her soldiers are tussling on the ground for some reason.
And Lucretia's throwing punches, right? Like she's not, like Strash said, she's not holding back. I mean, she's not drawing a weapon, but she's definitely.
Flavia's hair is not glowing. Oh, so that's something. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, not yet.
I think she just barks out, Legion.
Lucretia stops.
I think it takes longer for Flavia, but she does stop.
Nice. There's like one extra punch that goes in. Yeah.
What in the ever-loving hell are you doing? This is a graveyard. We do not fight each other in sacred spaces.
I think in between ground teeth, Flavia says she stole from me.
That is not an excuse. We do not fight in sacred spaces. That's why they're sacred.
I'd point out that the marshal is all right as well.
A little bit.
So
oh my god.
Lucretia is like, I wanted to write his name down and remember him.
You could have done that without stealing my bloody cloak.
He's not.
Are you fighting over a piece of fabric?
And
a graveyard?
And I feel like the reason why the cloak is important to Lucretia is that normally you would do this over the body. And since Crimson's body isn't here, this is like a symbolic gesture of him. Yeah. So she's like, I'll give back the cloak as soon as I've said the words and written his name. Maybe we could. She like, there's like a. We could do it together. It's sort of to the Marshal and sort of to Flavia. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the Marshal at this point.
I think by this point you'd also seen attached to the cloak is the flaming symbol, right? Like,
yeah,
there's this ethereal flame coming off of it that isn't burning them, but it's obviously a sign of Zora.
Can the two of you conduct yourselves with some decorum?
In the comic book of this, there's a thought bubble above Flavia's head that said, "What? I didn't kill her."
So I think Lucretia is at the point where the Marshal's right here. She can't do anything in her mind. She's ready to, set this aside, at least for now. Is it Flavia that gives her a hand up, or is it Lucretia that gives Flavia a hand up?
Ooh. Who gives who a hand up? I think
Lucretia. The Marshal might stick her hand out for both of you.
Oh, nice.
I like it. It.
She might then also make you two shake hands.
Nice.
I assume we do that with grinding our teeth.
Yeah, I feel like that's the great cutscene.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to see the actual memorial service. Love it. I would like to cut to another scene.
Oh, we can.
Another free play scene. Whenever it's good timing.
I believe you folks wanted to try and convince the commander of. Actually, I have a really funny one. So maybe we do that first.
Yeah.
I think there's just like a moment where the quartermaster gets a random, like one of the people that like usually keeps the quartermastery, and he shows up, and you've seen the look of fear on these people's faces before, and he goes, "Sir."
Quartermaster looks at him and is like, "What did she do this time?"
"She wants 100 swords, sir. She filled out paperwork, sir."
She filled out paperwork? She never fills out paperwork.
Well, she made me fill out paperwork, sir.
Playing mind games with me. Soldier. This isn't a soldier.
A piece of paper like it's a shield.
Oh, she thinks a piece of paper is going to protect her? Oh, sure, what's going to protect her? And he doesn't even ask what it's for. He just knows. He storms out. He grabs a sword. Actually, he grabs like a bundle of swords. Like, there's like 4. And he like grabs a bundle of swords and storms out. Where is she?
Oh, she's like waiting at the window. Like you're supposed to have 100 swords, much less give them to her.
Right. So he pulls one out of the thing, and it does not make a shink sound because it's just like a leather thing. And he like waves it around, not like you wield a sword. Like he's waving it like you dirty, you rotten kids kind of thing. He's waving the sword around. He's like, "What do you need?" And he like throws it at her. But like, she's Zora. He doesn't. Yeah. He's not throwing it to hurt her. He's throwing it at her like, here's a sword, and here's a sword, here's a sword. Right? He's like, "What do you need 100 swords for?"
I think
I'm sure she just catches them
out of her tent. What the hell?
I think Zora just like looks at the quartermaster and says, "They're gonna break." Like nods as if that makes perfect sense. And starts like picking up the 4, and she goes, "This will do for now."
Everybody? And like people are like asleep. He doesn't care. He shouts, "Everybody, if you have a sword and you're thinking about breaking it, don't." And storms back into the tent.
Zora seems to like think to herself, like, like as if she's like trying to figure out where to get more swords or something, and then she like wanders off.
Nice. It's so easy to get under the quartermaster's skin. It takes so little.
So great.
He's so easy to upset. Yeah, if the marshal was like, "What?" He's just Zora, the chosen. That's that. There's no more explanation than that.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, cool. That's all I wanted out of that scene.
Awesome. I really want a scene that happens like at the same time as that scene.
Awesome. What is it?
Zayanova like bolts up in bed, not dressed, right? Because she heard the commotion.
Yeah.
And Jen, if this is okay
Mhm.
with you, then like looks down at Rhea
Yeah.
and says, "Oh, shit." I knew people like him in my home. Always mad about something. Always a problem. Something was always never quartermaster. He's never. Ugh.
I mean, to be fair, he does have to put up with Zora.
Well, that's true. And like she sort of lays back down.
Mm-hmm.
How's your shoulder?
I don't know.
didn't- I
It's
didn't
still really sore. You know, you might need to rub it. Like,
Oh yeah, I could get some of more of the Zemyati wrap for
Yep.
you to help. Oh, you wanted me to rub it. Oh,
Mhm. Yeah.
do you know that she asked me what if I knew where Blight came from?
Who did?
Like this is like this sort of distracting
Yeah.
massage.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's supposed to be nice and sensual, but then like immediately Zayanova gets distracted. Like it doesn't stop being nice. It's just not
Right.
as not as thoughtful.
Well, and I feel like the shots are like, yeah, Zayanova starts out like doing like a nice shoulder, but she just gets more and more distracted.
Yeah,
And so Rhea's face starts out like, oh, she's oh, that feels nice, whatever, I'm listening. And then it's just sort of like more and more disappointed. Like, this is not where this is supposed to be going.
This is supposed to be sexy times. What?
I didn't like on the scale of sexy times to Zora, like
Right.
shoulder rub is supposed to move it in one direction.
She asked me if I knew before the last mission, she asked me if I knew where Blight came from. As though I was supposed to maybe, and as though she did. And then of course she didn't tell me.
I mean, that's not surprising. It's Zora.
But
Wait, hang on. Does Rhea know where Blight comes from?
It's not in a book. You can deduce it possibly, but it's definitely not a thing that's known.
Can I do a fortune roll to see if it has occurred to Rhea?
Yeah, sure.
Because
like a research roll.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Roll your research.
As long as it's not the same place babies come from. Where we're
Blight? Dear God, I hope not.
Right?
Storks?
That would be the most horrible thing ever.
Why is the world full of Blight?
I don't know. People just keep having sex and Blight happens. Oh. Wow.
I got nothing.
Thank
Nope. I got triple twos.
You're racking your brain. And as far as you're like to you, you're just like, well, doesn't the Cinder King make it? The undead seem to generate it. Isn't that where Blight's from?
Yeah.
But like, yeah. I mean, Sean, you're right. When Zora asked you, it was like she knew,
Yeah.
not like
Right.
Blight is something that happens when undead are around. She's like, no, do you know the source of it? Like,
Right.
it was, yeah.
I think Rhea's assumption is probably like the standard one, right? Like that's not uncommon. So I feel like the discussion kind of goes to, well, yeah, of course it comes from the Cinder King, but then why would Zora know about it? I mean, unless she's broken, which pray to God, pray to all the gods she's not.
I mean, her brother is.
But are they talking? I don't feel like after the breaking that Render like came back and confabbed with her. I'm pretty sure when they see each other, it's with swords.
Yeah.
You've had a demonstration of that. A bunch of people saw that.
A bunch of people saw that. So like, how would she? And she's been around for a really long time.
Yeah.
Like maybe Blight was before the Cinder King. Maybe he's not the first one. I just. And at this point, she realizes she's completely stopped massaging her shoulder, and she feels really bad. She's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. I know it hurts," and like goes back,
Yeah.
redoubles her effort,
Okay.
try and,
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine the moment is lost. It sounds
I
like.
kind of feel like it is.
Yeah.
I'm really sad to say that, but yeah.
I mean, I felt like the presumption that they had been sleeping together that last night.
Yeah.
It's assumed that there was prior.
Oh yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm like sort of sad about this, like, oh, we're talking about Blight. That super kills the moment. And then we just go back to sleep, like thinking like, hey, where does Blight come from?
Right. I think we're both laying there. Like, you just look at our face. Cool. That was
4 a.m. realizations.
Yeah.
Are we good? Do we want to do anything else?
Because that's what you figure out.
Do we want to have another scene? Do we want to talk to the commander of the?
Yeah. Nisha, I feel like this is your scene. Who do you want in it? And Josh is going to play the commander, right?
And I apologize in advance. I know her stance on a number of things. This is not going to be the easiest thing ever. I heart you, but.
So I think this doesn't happen so much with the. Oh, okay. Sorry. You're referring to our commander, not Johannes or whatever the hell his name was, because I can't remember.
No, you're talking about the Orite commander who was
commander.
No, the Orite from the place that we just infiltrated last session. The one that got like
the guard
guard mechanique. That's
the guard mechanique commander that got kicked out, because that's who you want to have join us, right? Is the guard mechanique commander that was going to go like die on the wall for her sins.
Yes.
Yeah. She is the one that I believe Strash is saying has very strong feelings.
Gotcha. Okay. Huh. I guess the first question is, are the other officers, or not the other, officers, for lack of a better word, even willing to entertain this idea when the marshal brings it up?
What's Lore Master's reaction, Jen?
I mean, I think the Lore Master, Lore Keeper, is kind of the mind that new people bring new knowledge, which is always a good thing. That being said, what the guard mechanique did was like capital W wrong to the Lore Keeper.
So is this against the values of the Legion, which you get to decide?
Ooh, maybe. Did I write down? I think I wrote down.
Nobody eats alone. That's the only one.
Nobody eats alone. But I have a couple that I wrote down that are like haven't been said out loud. Stronger together. Stronger together, kind of like, because one of the things I think that the way that the Lord Keeper is looking at this is like, cool. We don't need to make human enemies. We already have plenty of undead enemies. And if the humans make enemies of themselves, they're just making the job easier for the undead. So I don't know. I think the Lord Keeper is a resounding maybe on this. Like I can see good things possibly coming out of it, but also I'm not going to be broken up if it doesn't work out.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm surprised no one else thought of it first. It's a problem. She have a solution, a grisly solution. A good one. I'm glad I don't have to deal with myself, but if someone gave that thing to me, I would put it to use. Look, you got soldiers who can fight, and you got people who can't fight. Everyone's got to carry a share of the burden. I make my alchemists corrupt themselves every day. It's a thing. It's a cost of what they have to do. And if someday I need to suffer corruption in order to get the Legion over the next hill, then so be it. It's part of the job. I think she understood that very well. Glad I don't have to make the decision about whether or not to use that equipment. She did. I don't know how, if any of us can say we would, I don't know if any of us can know that we would do different.
So, Quartermaster, I need you to understand, I need you to answer a different question to me.
Sure.
Which is, knowing what you know, how do you think the soldiers will feel when somebody who is not a rookie and not a soldier gets upshifted to officer after doing something like that and then put in charge of their squad?
It's like a Marshall problem to me.
Who said anything about her being put in charge of a squad?
She's an officer.
Yeah. I mean, she's the commander of the Garde Mécanique, right? She's not. But as to how I think it would apply, it's not my decision where she goes, but
it's a Marshall problem. It's a
Marshall problem. But my perspective is she's always going to be considered an outsider. But we're the Legion. We're made up of outsiders. I mean, tell me that the people from Linesburg we didn't first question them, and the bandits from Barrack Mines, and even our newest officer, Adar, soldier that served with the Aldemani. We're all outsiders of it initially. There's going to be problems. People are going to get into fights. I heard there was a fight earlier today. What was that about? He doesn't really want to know.
Well, the Marshal.
His perspective is it's going to cause problems, but they're not insurmountable.
Fair.
But if you want her, I mean, are you looking for resources? Are you looking for supply? Are you looking for a way to pay her?
That's a totally different conversation with them.
Yeah, exactly. Marshall's like, if it's just a matter of feel goods, do whatever you want, Marshall. But if it's a matter of money, then now suddenly I do care.
It's more I don't want that knowledge falling into the wrong hands. And if we put her on the wall, she'll die. And if she gets resurrected, then all that knowledge goes to the Cinder King, and it can be used against us.
So you think we should kill ourselves? Nah, just pulling your leg there, Marshall. Gotcha.
I'm never sure with you.
Quartermaster is the grimmest character I've ever played. He'll literally chop up anything to turn it into parts.
I'm never sure. Yeah.
Yes, it's a possibility, but thousands of people die every day, and most of them get turned into rotters. The chance that she would be preserved, as we understand it, not many of the undead retain their intelligence. That big hound seemed to breathe in their knowledge. Some of the more powerful infamous and lieutenants have the knowledge of their life, but most of them don't. Maybe they'd recognize her armor and it would stand out as marking her as someone as important. Maybe not. I suspect most likely she'll just die.
If we're lucky, I suppose.
I didn't hear you. Sorry. Say again.
I said if we're lucky, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. But now our policy is that no one just joins, that to prove themselves. Hence all the fucking clocks to train. So getting her to agree is one thing, but making sure she's ready for the Legion is another.
I don't even know if I trust her that much.
What do you want?
I don't know. I'm having a crisis of faith. Go away.
It sounds like this is more than just preventing the Cinder King from maybe learning about her. You feel like she was misjudged?
You know what you can do if you're having a crisis of faith.
You can pray.
You can talk to a chosen.
Oh God. is the marshal? Yes, the marshal.
The moment the marshal goes to talk to the chosen, the quartermaster is out. Like, he's like, nope, not having that conversation.
As long
You
as she's
can't.
not somewhere high again, we're fine. There's a question. What would Zora do?
WWZD.
Test your glory.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that.
Now there's a way. If she fights Zora and can hold her ground, I'll bet you that the troops will be more willing to take her in. If she can be like Flavia, I'm not going to mess with Flavia. Oof. See the woman's hair caught on fire. It's not safe. It's not sanitary.
And yet she's rolling around in a graveyard fighting over a piece of fabric earlier. So who knows?
Like I said, I'm not going to. You're braver than I am. I would have just walked by and had my smoke.
Decorum, come on! You can't just have soldiers fighting on that.
That's why you're the marshal and I just keep the books.
You're not helping.
I think I'm being very helpful. I think I'm offering plenty of insights. Maybe not.
So why were you throwing swords at Zora?
Because she asked for 100 of them. I don't have 100 swords. And you know why? Do you know why she said she needed 100? Because they might break. I'll show you what I could break.
You know, she's probably just trying to get a rise out of you, and you rise to the bait.
Well, she's good at it. It's funny. Quartermaster would be afraid of Flavia, but not afraid of Zora, which makes no sense at all.
Really amusing.
She just gets him so mad that like any rational fear that he has of her just goes out the window.
Whereas the marshal has a very healthy fear.
Oh yeah, as she should. As she should. So, Marshal, your call.
All right.
If you want her in the army, go ask her. I gotta go make sure that woman doesn't steal any more of my swords. And
Fair.
I want to take that back. I want to go make sure that Chosen doesn't steal any more of my swords. And storms off.
She filled out a form. Technically, it isn't stealing anymore.
A form on fire. Who's carrying those forms? I think one blue feather from the quartermaster's hair like gets left behind because he was so like mad, you know, that like it came out of his big shock of feathers that he wears.
I think the marshal will tuck it into a pocket for later.
Cool. What do you think, Michelle? Or Jen, does Lore Master have any?
Well, I mean, this is off topic, but I think the Lore Master is the one that gave Zora the form for the requisition.
Oh my god!
Just to mess with the quartermaster.
I think maybe, but also I think the lore keeper just wants to talk to Zora at any given opportunity because the lore keeper just wants to learn more, and Zora knows like a shit ton.
Yeah.
So if that means pissing off the quartermaster, the lore keeper is willing to do it.
Story checks.
Yeah. Just because of time constraints, I think we should. I think you should jump right to the scene if you want to do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think after a while she thinks better of the idea because the point of wait, I do have to get this past the soldiers and how will they handle it?
It's possible. Maybe you're willing to take on the wrath, but it's one of the things that this game constantly asks is, what is your legion? Right?
Yeah.
Like, are you the people that do that? Do you expect unquestioning obedience? Can you force this down their throats? It's a question, right?
I'm pretty sure we do not expect unquestioning obedience because have you seen all the questioning we do?
Yeah. But I mean, it also means that you can introduce unconventional ideas.
Yep.
Like we can add bandits to our group. We can add refugees to our group. I mean, she's a pretty hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, she's a war criminal. I mean,
she's a war criminal. But like, I wouldn't say that's a complete stretch in a different direction. She's a war criminal of a different caliber than those bandits were, but those bandits were more than happy to kill all the people in Barrack Mines and take their stuff if we hadn't stopped them. And we invited them in. You know, they had much more mundane and much more mundane methods and much lower aspirations. But, you know, people do terrible stuff. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to pressure you. I want you to do it if you're excited about it. I want you to try it out and see what happens. Or if you're like,
a random thought that came to me while we were.
No, it's a good thought, but it's also something that needs to be like looked at, right? Like it's not an obvious decision.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you care, we can do a quick scene with the chosen or not, and if not, we can just move on.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Cool.
All right, sounds good. Let's do bookkeeping.
I want one more very short free play scene, and it's not even a scene. I just want a scene with Zainova and Rhea looking through the annals with the lore master.
Oh yeah.
Just like poring over them to try and figure out the source of light. Like
yeah. I don't there's like 6 books open on various tables. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's that.
I like it.
Do you want to roll research one more time just
Sure.
to see if you find something in the books?
Yeah.
I got a 6.
Books tend to be better than.
Well, the first sign of blight that's ever appeared that you note in the annals specifically happened after the breaking of Dar.
Okay.
That interesting.
And where was that in the timeline vis-a-vis the Cinder King?
Way before him.
Right.
Hundreds of years before him.
Hundreds of years before him, right.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why, say, our Dar officer could have the ability called corruption eating, because corruption predates corruption and blight.
What happened with the breaking of Dar again? What was that whole thing? This is way prior to Cinder
Pretty
King.
sure Zora and Oizengrau were there.
I mean, I know what we're talking about now. All right.
I don't.
I do.
I think this is super secret Jen and Strash knowledge.
It is.
I'll tell you some of the stuff that you pull up. And one of the notes is that if you recall, the breaking of Dar happened. I want to double check, but I want to say it's like 400 years ago. I'm
gonna pull up the timeline real quick.
It's
Tantarus ascends minus 413 from today.
Okay, so this is after, because Tantarus was the 7th emperor, not the last emperor.
On the timeline, I don't have anything about Dar breaking.
It should be the Empire Shattered 566 OEF.
Okay.
And it's currently 848. So like 300 years ago, give or take. And the thing is that for reasons that are not 100% clear, some chosen were sent in to wreck the Emperor. There's not a whole ton of notes there, maybe there's an entire book and it's going to take you folks a while to read through it. But it's pretty clear that until Dar was wreathed in shadow and the shadows appeared, there was no thing like corruption that's been clearly recorded that the annals have. So that happened 300 years ago. The Cinder King only appeared something like 7 years ago. Like he's very recent.
Yeah.
The first breaking happened in 840 and it's currently 848. So 8 years ago. 8 years ago, give or take some months.
Yeah.
So yeah, huge differential. But yeah, so
all of the things that happened at the time were the Legion became a mercenary band instead of following the Empire.
They lost the Empire that they were loyal to.
Right. The Empire shattered.
Yep.
Light came to existence. The curse on Dar happened, and Crimson Shot was invented by the Legion.
Oh no, the Crimson Shot was invented by the Legion during the Gods' War.
During the Gods' War. Okay.
Oh, actually, it might have been during the Empire. I don't know. We can decide that. But the thing that is important though is that I don't know how much the annals have this. We're gonna have to ask the lore keeper because Strash doesn't actually have this answer. It's not canonical one way or the other yet. But the question that I have is, was the Legion present when Dar broke? Because Dar used to be the seat of the Empire. It used to be where the Empire
then absolutely yes.
relaxed. Yeah, so...
Because the Legion was formed to protect the Emperor.
According to every note that you have ever heard, everybody knows that Zora broke Dar. According to the annals, no, it was something the Emperor did. Zora just killed him in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Notes.
I like it. Bookkeeping?
Bookkeeping! During the bookkeeping phase, -1 morale for each Legionnaire that died on the mission.
Nobody died.
We already did that part. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think we always do the bookkeeping part. Just
all right. Back at camp is done. Time passes. So time of pressure advanced by 1. Quartermaster, you must spend 1 food.
Yep. All right. We have 4 food left, everybody.
Boop.
So I think that is going to be enough to get us. I think that's going to be enough to get us through this, because that gives us, unless food is needed for something, that gets us to Skydagger, and with food to spare.
All right. Time pass is done. Next up, campaign actions.
All right, Marshall, what's our morale?
10.
Awesome. 2 campaign actions. First thing we're gonna do is all right, Rhea, you said we're cool with it, so we're gonna do Liberty. So everyone's gonna lose 4 stress, and morale would go up, but it can't. Misha, do you want to do the stress, or do you want me to do it? Okay, I'll let you do it so we don't double up. And second one is long-term project, Voyous. Who wants to play Voyous for me? Jen, will you be my Voyous?
Sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Quartermaster says, we're not sending you on this next mission. I'm not the Marshal, but I have a feeling about this, because you see things and you're crazy. So instead of that, I need you to go train those troops. I need you to go train those ex-bandits. Turn them into Legion. Oh, and never mind. Funny, I just saw a funny thing.
So I don't get to go on a mission.
But you get to punch bandits in the face.
But you're making me babysit.
No, I'm making you teach them how to fight. Pick up your Kingfisher sword, swing it around, show them how the Zemyati kills their enemies. Teach them how to fight in formation. Teach them how to keep themselves alive.
But I can't kill them.
No, you can't. I mean, a few. There's a lot of them. I only need a few Legion members. No, you can't kill them. I mean, if you have to.
Remember, Voice is like 60.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but he could still super kill a fool with that.
Oh, no. He will kill a fool any day. But I'm just saying that you have to understand that the Quartermaster is like 30-something.
Yes. I don't think Quartermaster's that young. I think Quartermaster's been around for a while, but he's not as old as Voice.
Also, that totally sounds like babysitting.
Yeah. But listen, you're old, so they'll respect you.
And he just kind of gives you a look like, did you just say, look, you're old? And that just like hangs in the air for like a good long moment.
Maybe the Quartermaster's having regrets about thinking that.
So I think Voyous begins visibly admiring the coloring of your hair and beard.
Oh shit.
Says,
I mean,
maybe you make this babysitting job worth my while.
Oh.
Are you insinuating that Voyous' beard that was dyed by Meltali has like grown out a little bit and faded?
Yes, he wants dye. Yes.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
I see.
Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
I
I
wasn't
wasn't clear about that.
Yeah, I was like, I think.
Let's be clear here.
That's real fun. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Quartermaster's all about wheeling and dealing. So He's like, you want your tips frosted. Okay.
Well, I think the other thing is that Royce wants the materials because he wants to like do the hair dye party with Meltali again, right?
Nice.
Yeah,
I think
But it's
Quartermaster.
rare. Remember that like a lot of the dyes for hairs actually come from Panya, which is kind of a problem now.
Yeah,
The hold of some of that is a little tough.
Yeah, I think Quartermaster is
how bad do you want rookies?
Yeah, how about rookies? No, I want soldiers is what I want. That's why I'm sending Voyas to train them. Yeah. So I've got the shot up right now, the Quartermaster with his like super red shock of hair and all his feathers and his like his frosted beard and eyebrows. I love this picture. This is Jen's picture. And I'm so here for it. Yeah, I think he kind of goes and, I think the Quartermaster has just so much stuff that all gets packed up and unpacked and packed up and unpacked, but he has his own like personal cache of things because this is not Legion supplies.
Right.
And so like there's some weird jars and they smell really bad and they're wrapped up in leather and there's all these rags that he uses to put them in and they're all stained 1,000 different colors from many years of being used. And he can't like give you some of it. He's got to give you all of it, and then you use a little, and then you bring it back.
Okay.
Like, I can like scoop out a tiny bit of the dye.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
but it's not practical.
Yeah.
So he like pulls out this satchel and he says, "I expect this back, and I expect when winter comes, I'll be able to put in my winter beard."
Winter beard.
and he hands it to him.
Yeah. That's great. I love it.
Yeah. It's such a bunch of different dyes. And then he was like, "Wait, I got a feather missing." And it's like, shoo, right? I got to find this missing feather.
Yeah.
Cool. You wanna skirmish with some soldiers and teach them how to fight?
Sure.
I just want to state that there's probably like Flavia jogging in the background of every shot.
Yeah.
Zora doing the like on your left, like Captain America run
totally.
by.
I mean, Quartermaster would totally go after Flavia if he didn't think that would get Zora be bothering him about it. So, he's not that petty. Shush, I want to start a long-term project to recruit to train the bandits into recruits, and as we talked about before, I'm going to do a bigger clock or spend supply rather to make it so that 2 of them are soldiers.
Well, it's going to be 4 o'clock.
Cool.
So I'm just going to set it to 0 and rename it here.
Yeah, I think it's bandits.
Yep, bandit training.
Cool. Bandit training.
It sounds like we're training them to be bandits rather than from bandits.
No, they're how about I say bandit to soldier? There we go. That should work. Save changes. There we go.
There he goes. There we go. Nice. Yeah.
Last time.
What's that?
Didn't I get rookies last time?
We didn't. This is me getting them instead. This is going to generate 5 people, 2 soldiers, 3 rookies.
Okay.
That is the goal. And whatever you roll is fine because I'll finish it off with laborers.
Okay, I'm rolling a skirmish roll.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind.
Okay. You get a 5.
Cool.
So that's 2 ticks.
2 ticks. So I spend the other 2. So I have 3 laborers and a hammer, a Matyar.
And a hammer.
Hammer can't be used on these guys. I'm sorry.
No, 100%. It can only be used on crafting projects.
But I mean, I could see the laborers making like training dummies and like things you crawl under because that's always part of the movies. I don't even
exactly the boot camp part.
Walls with ropes, marching grounds, that kind of stuff.
Ditches to dig. There's many things that the laborers can help them out with. So I'm going to spend I'm going to spend 2 of the laborers' actions, the Linesburg and our original laborers to complete that. So Marshall, you have 5 more Legion members to add. And again, 2 of them are soldiers and 3 are rookies. So you are you could make the Ravens an all soldier group, I think, if you wanted to.
But it would include putting strangers in there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the Ravens are down 2 people.
Yeah, they got wrecked pretty bad. Yeah,
they need
the resupply.
Right. There's no. I don't know. That might be a morale thing. Who went on the chicken dinner mission? Wasn't it the Ravens?
I remember that voice was on there because Jen played an awesome voice with the hammer.
Oh
Yeah.
no, Graf was on there. So
Yeah.
it was.
I remember wrecking that damn desk.
Yeah, you did. Right, you wrecked the desk, and now you're training them. It's perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna fill up this clock. Choose side. That's 2 of them, and then I'm going to do a Liberty action, did a long-term project. I'm going to jump ahead to my alchemists. I want to have the alchemists start making. I'd love to have them make owlsite oil because.
Okay.
But I don't think there's any way I can do it and have them finish the clock in order for this mission. Am I right?
For this mission, it's unlikely.
Yeah.
Well, you could hope you roll a crit.
I have 3 alchemists. It's conceivable.
It's not impossible. It's just not likely. But who knows? You can get lucky.
It feels like it's better to plan ahead than to try and rush something for this time.
That would be how I'd play it, but I don't.
Well, and I think our officer.
I am not the quartermaster.
I think our officer can channel this later. So I am instead going to work on what's the one that prevents you deep? I think it is that. No
breathing.
Yeah, because I know Blighter's going to be sieging Skydagger Keep, and I know we're going to be at Skydagger Keep with Blighter there and her poisonous nonsense. So I want to start making deep for all of the soldiers now, so that hopefully by the time we get to Skydagger Keep.
It's 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Okay, all right. Hit me with another clock, and I will roll my alchemists. I've got 3 alchemists, so making deep. Sounds dirty.
5, 2 ticks. Not bad.
All right, that's fine.
Now you roll for corruption.
And then I'll roll for corruption. All right.
Hey, it's 1 corruption.
1 corruption. Okay.
3 people. That's good.
Yeah. No doubt.
Fine. They'll be fine.
Like I said, like the quartermaster said, I make my alchemists corrupt themselves all the time.
It's not that you're making them corrupt themselves. It's that you're asking them for resources and they're doing their best.
Yes.
So turns out this stage of deep is not super terribly corrupting.
Landgrave Aurora Rodano. She's the alchemist that gets the corruption. I marked her up. We're still fine on corruption. I still feel good about it. And then lastly, I have the hammer and 1 more laborer. So I'm going to start on another siege engine, which I think is a 6-tick clock to build another siege engine.
Yeah.
All right. Gimme. How many can I have? I have 2 right now.
3. 3 is your max.
Excellent. I want 3. So yeah, I need a 6-tick clock with 2 ticks on it. One for the all right, and one for the laborers and 1 for the hammer. And Misha, did you reduce all the stress?
Dressed.
Excellent.
Can you put the 2 soldiers and the ravens? Yeah. 2 of the rookies in the ghost owls, and the remaining rookie in the star vipers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Say again.
2 soldiers and grinning ravens.
All right, 1 second. Let me start I need to duplicate some sheets.
Yeah. You can just make them all rookies and we can, or make them all. Yeah. This is always the
You got to remember how to duplicate sheets real fast.
You have to go into edit
edit and then
and scroll to the bottom.
Ah, there it is. 1, 2, 3, and then
do it.
4, 5.
Yeah, 5 times, right?
And then scroll to the bottom. Here we go. So, all right. So you want, where do you want me to put
Ravens?
rookies in the Ravens or soldiers in the Ravens?
Soldiers in the Ravens.
All right. And where did the rookies go?
1 in the Star Vipers, 2 in the Owls.
All right, cool. I'm gonna fix that for you real quick.
And that means if I am correct, every squad but the Stags is full. Is that right? Nice.
That is correct.
All
right, chat. I have a challenge for you.
Gotta come up with names.
Anyone in chat, remember the name of the bandit leader from the Barrack Mines mission. If you do, you get 100 Sean cheer points. And I will dance around my chair right now. If you even guess and it sounds like you're right, you'll get it.
Do we have an actual answer? Or?
There may be an answer. Actually, we should, right before we do missions, we should probably take a break. But if people want to look it up, that's okay too.
Yeah, it's going to be in the VOD. I just,
don't want to watch the VOD.
Well, we shouldn't right now because we don't have time.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Poor Stags. First into the first mission, just not quite hanging out here. Right, there we go. I think we're good. I think we are good.
I don't see any of the peeps. You might have to share them with us. Sorry.
Details, schmetails.
Right. Well, there's that thing of every single time you do anything roll 20, it's all manual. And
all right, we'll deal with that when we need to.
We'll do it later.
Yeah.
Fine. Should we pick missions and roll engagement and then go do break?
That sounds good to me, unless people have anything else they want to do.
Okay, Andy, you win. Sometimes people take new names to mark new chapters in their lives. This is one of those times. All right, Andy, you're getting.
Bravo.
Thank you, happy dance. Hold on a second. Here we go.
I like how he's singing along with it.
I know, right?
I promised it. I said I would do it.
It's the deal.
Yes. And 100 Sean Sparkly points to.
Uh-oh, we got Misha started.
All right, 100 Sean Sparkly points to Andy. Lovely. We still need a name for her, but nevertheless.
Unless her name is Andy.
Yes.
Ooh.
We'll look it up, but I think we should be good.
John just gave us cheer for whatever that was. All right, never mind. No soldiers named Andy.
All right. Cool. So do we want to pick primary, secondary?
All right, everybody, I'm giving you missions, I think. Thought it was good.
It's singular.
Yeah.
You made macro singular for some reason. We do this a lot. There we go.
Yeah, it's the macro is mission, but the thing says missions. I don't know. Who thought of that? What knucklehead was thinking that? So.
All right, so we have 3 missions. We will be advancing to the Moss. So actually, we should probably roll the advancement and stuff first.
Okay.
So you do have a way out of the fort.
Yep.
It's underground, and you currently only have 1 pressure, but Zora has started the done. So you're going to be rolling 0. So if somebody wants to make a 2-die fortune roll, take the worst. So 0D. That will add time because that's how advancement works, and then I'll reset your pressure.
I'll roll it.
Okay.
You got it, Sean?
Go
Here,
for it.
I'll reset your pressure to 0. Boop.
Mm-hmm. Under pressure. All right. Yeah. We got
One
a
tick. All
one
right.
tick.
Halfway done with your last clock. Cool. So that was advancement, which means that you folks entered the Maw. Let's talk about the Maw real quick. It's a cool place, but it is not the most comfortable place in the world. So this expansive cave network was long ago used as part of a trade route to Skydagger Keep before a combination of natural hazards and cave-dwelling people made the passage too treacherous. Once a network of natural caves, many portions of the network have been expanded and worked on over time. The path remains traversable, though the passage sometimes requires stooping over and sometimes crosses through caves whose ceilings are so high that lanterns cannot reach them. The Maw is a pit. The Maw itself, the reason this whole path is called the Maw is there is a pit in the middle of it, but it is a pit so deep that you cannot hear anything thrown in hit bottom. The path that the Legion will follow wraps around the lip of the Maw for several long hours. Carved into the rock are huge pillars, more ancient than the Old Empire, covered in a language lost to time. Occasional shrines pepper the sides of the road early on, with small gifts placed before them. Walls often glitter with beautiful mineral deposits and fungal outcroppings that have grown among the stone. And this gives the path both an eerie quality, both natural and maybe a little bit civilized, because like some of it's carved, some of it's mushroomy. The path can be difficult to follow, and becoming lost can mean death once food and light run out. Found about are wrecked carriages of failed attempts to traverse from years ago, and more recent ones of folks who attempted to escape the war this way. Deeper off the path live pale crawlers, a reclusive society of people who resent intrusion on their land and look for opportunities to harass those who would trespass through their caves. Little is known about them. Though not blind, they scar their bodies and identify each other through touch in the dark. Their expertise with fungal venoms is second to none. Only underestimate them at great peril. So that's the Maw. It's a giant underground passageway that takes like a week to traverse. So yeah, there's the reason why people stopped using it. But you know, for a while when there were snows and stuff, people used it as like a trade route underneath the mountains leading up to just like where Skydagger is. So yeah, the Legion is going to go deep underground, and there are 3 missions. The commander chose religious as our mission focus. So the 3 missions that we have, which you can see in the link there, are looking for them, is Operation Broken Storm, which there is a shortcut through the Maw, but it is called the Path of 3 Trials, and apparently you have to complete the trials and in order to open the way. They're considered very deadly. People talk about traps and other things. It's apparently pretty scary, but that's a thing. There is Operation Shattered Wall, which is a very interesting mission. It's going to require the Legion to send some people ahead in the dark, because when you folks go into the Maw, Blighter and her troops are going to be advancing behind you, like not hot on your heels necessarily, but pretty close. But Render is going the other route. Now, Render's main troop line is pretty slow, but there are sightings of that giant hound that has led advanced troops before, and there is indication that it's been dispatched ahead. So the commander and most of the people are pretty worried that they might actually like cut off access, maybe collapse tunnels, that kind of stuff. There is the time penalty if you fail that mission. And last but not least, so Blighter the Maw, if you recall, is a giant hole that goes down for freaking ever. And there are several paths carved into it, but nobody's, like most of the people that go down just never come back up. So for the most part, people just ignore it and go around the lip and leave the hole to the hole. But Blighter has dispatched a unit to go down there, and when you folks kind of like try and puzzle out what the F they might want. Zora remembers that there is like the burial place of someone who is tied to one of the Pioneer Chosen, specifically to Nyx, who's like the goddess of the moon. And there's a tomb down there, and there may or may not be like treasure/artifacts in that tomb. She's not 100% sure. It's not particularly her gimmick, but it is from a long time ago. So I put a little note that says, who knows what the heck Blighter wants that for, but whatever Blighter wants it for, it can never be good. So
I mean, I would disagree that Zora is not all about tomb robbing. She did send us to go kill her sister.
It is true.
In Barrack Mines.
It is totally not because of an agenda.
Yeah. Totally not.
Totally not.
So yes. So what do we want to do as primary mission? What do we want to do as secondary?
Oh, that's a question.
I think we're set on Broken Star and Sable Star, or Broken Storm and Sable Star.
Yeah.
Cool.
We were
That sounds
talking
good.
about. So we will not deal with Render's Assault.
Yikes.
I think the going down into whatever deep, crazy, weird things are scary, weird things are a Panyard Chosen being buried beneath, and that sounds cool. When we were gonna do a scenario, we did that as a secondary, and so we heard a lot about it, but we didn't actually go on it. So I'd be down for doing that as primary.
Traumatic flashbacks for your doctor.
Yeah, exactly. A Broken Storm. They both sound really cool. Both of the religious ones sound super exciting to me. So.
Do you have one that you want to do primary? I know Jen's heart was set on the one with the shadow shard there, but
yeah. That was my thought. Was the Sable Star.
Let's do that primary.
All right, cool. So did you well, I'll tell you what, let's assemble the engagement roll over breaking, and we'll just hit roll when we start. Sound good?
That's good. Well, we need to pick specialists and
yeah.
solutions and all that stuff, but yeah. That sounds I'm happy to do that over break.
All right. Let us do the break.
Yeah. Almost. Now we'll do it. File.